These are pierogis with a cheese and potato filling. First we need some mash, for which we'll prick the potatoes with a knife or a fork and put in the microwave for around 6 to 10 minutes before roasting for a further 20 to 30 minutes in the oven. Now if you are making mashed potato for this recipe, I'd recommend making some more and using the rest in another recipe such as gnocchi or a shepherd's pie. Now while the potatoes are in the oven, we can start making the dough. So for this dough we'll mix our dry ingredients, that being the flour and the salt, in a bowl, and then we'll crack in an egg and beat until it all starts to come together. Next we'll add our sour cream. You could replace this with creme fraiche or yogurt or some vegan alternatives, and then we'll mix this together before finally adding our softened butter and mixing it with our hands. Now we just need to knead this dough until it becomes nice and smooth. Now the dough will be quite sticky, but try not to add too much extra flour as this can change the overall texture at the end. Now we'll wrap it in cling film or beeswax if you have it, and leave it to rest for at least an hour in the fridge, or up to 2 days. Now our potatoes should be ready, so we can cut them in half and scoop out the insides, and then put that through a masher or a ricer until it's nice and smooth. And now we can add whatever flavours we like, so for mine I've used cheddar and red onion. Now, something worth knowing is that mustard helps to enhance the flavour of cheddar, so if you add about a half teaspoon of it to this mixture, you'll get a much cheesier tasting pierogi. Be sure not to throw away your potato skins, as if you top them with some onions, tomato and a little bit of cheese, you can put them back in the oven for around 5 minutes and you have this delicious extra plate of food. You can see I had mine with a nice roasted tomato sauce and a side salad dressed with rosehip syrup. Now both recipes are on my channel, so you can check them out. You can also hit the subscribe button to be in the loop for future budget meal videos. So now we need to roll out our dough on a lightly floured work surface to around 1/8 of an inch thick. Then we can cut out some circles and put around a teaspoon of our filling in the centre before folding over the top and making a crescent shape and then crimping the edges down. An extra thing you can do is crimp the edges down with a fork. Now this doesn't just look nice, this does also help to make that seal a little bit tighter so that your filling doesn't escape. So while I fill all of these pierogis, let's work out how much all of this costs. As always, these prices will vary dependent on where you choose to shop and what's available when you go. But for me, this recipe, which makes around 20 pierogis, came to £1.46, or around 7 pence per pierogi. With the ingredients for the dough costing 15 pence for 240 grams of plain flour, 10 pence for 1 egg, 30 pence for 120 grams of sour cream, and 40 pence for 50 grams of butter, and the ingredients for the filling costing 10 pence for 250 grams of mashed potato, 40 pence for 100 grams of cheddar, and 1 pence for around half a teaspoon of mustard. Now the filling for this dough can be sweet or savoury, so on screen are some optional extras, some flavour combinations and some substitutions for if you'd like to make this vegan. So now our pierogis are all stuffed and crimped, we can either freeze them or cook them. And they'll keep in the freezer for several weeks and you cook them exactly the same way from frozen as you do from fresh. So now we simply take the pierogis to a pan of salted boiling water and drop them in. When the pierogis float to the surface, they're ready to come out, so you can just remove them with the sieve and drop in your next batch. Once you've drained some of the liquid off the pierogis, you can put them in a pan with some onions, peppers and garlic. You can fry until they're golden on both sides. Finally, we'll serve them on a plate with a little side salad with a rosehip dressing. And that's it! Simple cheese and potato pierogis made for around 7 pence each. If you would like more videos on how to save money on your food bill during the cost of living crisis, including foraging guides, budget meals and recipes, and tips for the kitchen, then hit the subscribe button and the bell icon.